It is the Tony Scott Internet Show on a Tuesday, and hope your Monday was good. A lot of people dread Mondays. Mondays don't bother me. No, not really. But here we are on a Tuesday, the 21st of October. My parents, my father's deceased, but my parents' anniversary tomorrow would be 59 years. Tomorrow, so I have to make sure I call Mom, see how things going for her, because it's tough, man. My mom married my dad when she was 15, and when my dad passed, my mom was 70 years old. That's a long time. It's 55 years. A teenager until she was 70. That's a long time. Well, what is going on? I just I read last night, actually this morning, that Oscar de la Renta, the designer, has passed away. He was like 80, 82, something like that. So he has passed. What else is going on? The horrible thing that happened in Hammond, Indiana, where the serial killer, who seven women's bodies were found. Hammond, Indiana is the same city where that a week or so ago, the cops busted that window out with the family in the car, the African-American family. Although a lot of the bodies, I think, were found in Gary, Indiana, not far away. But we'll have to get more into that as the details unfold. Al Sharpton says he plans a trip back to St. Louis. He's scheduled to be here October 31st through November 3rd. From what I read, the focus being to get Bob McCullough to remove himself as the prosecutor in the Michael Brown murder case. And, of course, Bob McCullough says that's not going to happen. And that just won't happen. I sure hope they pass a law in Missouri, because I know it's scheduled, they're going to look at it next year. So it would have no bearing on this particular situation, but it would remove prosecutors from doing anything in officer-involved shootings. Whether or not to indict, they would name a special prosecutor. That would be law. They should have done that a long time ago. They really should have. Last week, I was listening to the radio locally in St. Louis, and they were talking about the Michael Brown murder, and a police officer, retired, who I believe served at the same time that Bob McCullough's father did, spoke out and said that, this was wrong, what happened to Michael Brown, and they let him say what he had to say, and they got off the phone, and they went on to the host didn't even comment, they just moved on to the next call. It was like he didn't even call, like he didn't even exist, like that moment never even happened, where a man who was making his case for why Darren Wilson should be indicted, and then he would just basically kick to the curb like it didn't even matter what he said, which is the host's prerogative, but if you call yourself a host on issues, then you have to let both sides be heard, and if you don't comment on one side because you don't agree, that just, I don't know, it just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I don't know why. A lot of people are wondering about this whole blood evidence that was found in Darren Wilson's patrol car and on his gloves, I think, and on his clothes, something like that, his gun maybe. And some people say that has nothing to do with what he did to Michael Brown. That's a separate issue. Well, I think the only connection that you can make with that is it goes to maybe what Darren Wilson's state of mind is. But as testimony that allegedly leaked out, said that, Darren Wilson said he was fearful for himself, then the question has to be raised, why do you pursue somebody you're scared of? If you're fearful, why do you chase him? And why didn't you wait for backup? Why didn't you do any of that? Why did you take it on your own to do that? That's the question that people want answers to. The Pentagon has put together an Ebola strike team. This team has 30 members, 5 doctors, 20 nurses, 5 trainers, and the plan is to dispatch the team whenever there's an outbreak of Ebola in the United States. Yesterday, the 21-day monitoring period ended for about 50 people that had come in contact with Thomas Eric Duncan, the man that died of Ebola in Dallas. And also yesterday, Nigeria and Senegal have been declared Ebola-free. Liberia and Sierra Leone, and there's one other country too that are spreading rapidly in those countries. So, we got to figure a way through this, man. I mean, I hate it when people say that's on the other side of the world. Ain't got nothing to do with us. Well, you know what? This is a humanitarian. This is a thing. This is a thing. Okay, we need. There are things that across on the other side of the world maybe we shouldn't care so much about. But then there are things when it involves suffering and pain, things like that. And if we can help, isn't it our duty to help as Christians? I would think. A lot of people are upset at the brand Carol's daughter, the hair care stuff, because they apparently, after a little over 20 years in business, have sold the company to L'Oreal. And people are saying she sold out. What's her name? Lisa Price, I think. She sold out. And I'll never buy her products again. Wait a minute. Really? It hankers you? Were you mad when Bob Johnson sold BET? Were you mad then? Did you quit watching BET? I mean, is it disappointing? Yeah, it's disappointing, but that's her right to do that. That's what we do in America, right? We build our companies and then we cash out at a certain point. Nothing wrong with that. L'Oreal says, hey, everything's going to stay the same for as far as we know. We're not planning on doing anything different, but hey. How many times have we heard that, right? But I mean, it's their right to do what they want with the company. They bought it. Can you be mad at Carol's daughter for selling? Well, you can be, but I don't know if that's fair. You know? I was kind of surprised, though, that she sold the company to L'Oreal. But, you know, she says it's going to be in good hands. And she's confident that the brand will continue to grow. And she says that her mom Carol, is smiling on her about this whole thing. Very happy for her. So very good. You know who's not very happy right now is Keke Palmer. And I've got word about some nude pictures. Oh, man. I'll tell you about it coming up next in about 30 seconds or less on the Tony Scott Internet Show.
Do you want to reach an audience that you haven't tapped into yet and not blow your budget? The Tony Scott Internet Show is new, growing, and available to you. Advertising on the Tony Scott Internet Show is extremely affordable. Contact us at advertise@TonyScottShow.com.
It is the Tony Scott Internet Show. Glad you are with us. If you're looking to catch up on Scandal, last week's episode, which was the best so far. I mean, there's only been 4 episodes. This one was head and shoulders above the other 3. It was called Like Father, Like Daughter. You can get a recap from Men on Scandal. Just go to menonscandal.com and you can watch it, or you can download the podcast and take it with you wherever you go. I told you this, about a week ago, that the celebrity nude picture scandal with people getting hacked, their clouds were getting hacked and pictures downloaded and given to the public for consumption, has included Keke Palmer. And apparently the leaked pictures are making the rounds. To my knowledge, there are 3 of them out. One shows her in some kind of undergarment. It's like, I mean, it's not like it's like a thong thing or anything like that. It's I don't know, you have to see it to believe it. But the other one apparently shows her sitting on the toilet naked, nothing to see there. And then there's one that everybody's talking about. It's a naked boobs only shot, but there's no face. It's just the boobs and her abdomen. So you can't really say it's Keke Palmer, but they're claiming it is. And if it is her, she has what seems to be some kind of mark, like I don't know if it's like a tattoo or something under her left boob, and both nipples are pierced. So if you know for a fact that Keke Palmer has both her nipples pierced, then I guess it's her. I'm not ready to say that's her because you don't see a face. Anybody can put a picture up of some boobs and go, yeah, that's Keke Palmer. Even if their nipples are pierced, I mean, that still doesn't mean it's her. Remember when she came to St. Louis and marched early on in Michael Brown's protests that were going on in Ferguson? And she got heated up on social media because she came to town. She marched with a really short mini skirt and some come get 'em pumps, some stilettos. She was marching with that, and people accused her of just, being an attention whore. You remember that? It was like, what? I mean, everybody was mad at everybody then. Did anybody watch last night Love and Hip Hop Hollywood? Tierra Marie. Damn, she's beautiful. She is a gorgeous young lady, and she fancies herself a singer. She says she's a singer, So she performed with a band for the first time in a while, she says, and she sucked. I mean, she Hall of Fame sucked. I mean, she sucked like the Dyson DC-65. I mean, it was horrible. Did you hear any of that?
Touch me, baby.
No.
Thank you guys.
No. First of all, you can't suck and then at the end go woo like you put in work, because that was horrible. that was horrible. Did you heard it? It was terrible. And then her promoter, a guy named Sincere, he was basically could he told her in a better way? Yeah, he could have, but I think he was so frustrated because even before she performed, he was acting like, this ain't gonna go well based on what I'm seeing so far. He wasn't as delicate as I'm putting it right now, but I mean, it was like, ew, that was some terrible singing. And then she got mad because she didn't want the criticism. She goes, I was a little off. You were not a little off. You sucked. you were a lot off. I mean, come on, play that again.
Touch me, baby.
Wow. No, woo.
Thank you guys.
You're not entitled to a woo when you're that bad. That was horrible. That was awful. That was, oh, God. And then she gets mad because she got criticized. I mean, he was heavy-handed, yeah, but still. Take the criticism. Even your girlfriend who was with you, your friend, your BFF, whoever she is, she didn't even say anything because she knew dude was right. I watched the video clip on it. It's on talking360.com on Streets of Talking. You can check it out. But, man, that was some bad singing right there, Jim. That was bad. That was just good and terrible. My goodness. Hey, Tyga's mad. The artist, the recording artist. I don't even know. I'll be honest with you. I don't even. Is he hip hop or is he singer? I guess he's hip hop, right? Tyga. He's been dating. Who's that? One of the Jenners. One of Kim Kardashian's half sisters, Kylie. And of course, I don't even think she's like 17. And so the internet has been heating him up, calling him a pedophile and everything, and he's had enough of that. He's not going to have that. He doesn't, he's going in on people for criticizing him and calling him a pedophile. Hey man, you're a grown man and she's 17. Yeah, people are going to go in on you. That's the world we live in right now. You could be the perfect gentleman and still she's not of age. How would you feel if your daughter was 17 and dating a grown ass man? How would you feel about that? You see, even if he was just 21, you'd have a problem with it, I'm just saying, don't be mad people going in on you. You got to take the heat. She is, and where's Kris Jenner and all? Kris Jenner has to be the world's worst mom to allow this nonsense to go on like this. She's more pimp than mom, isn't she? I mean, she really is. She's really more pimp than mom. And Streets are talking that Bruce Jenner, her strange soon-to-be ex-husband, is dating like her best friend, violating the code. Is the code still a real thing in 2014? Is it still real? Where you're not supposed to date a friend's ex or a relative's ex? It happens, and everybody else says, ooh, they broke the code. But has the code ever been like a real thing? Nobody honors that code, do they? I don't think anybody honors that code. I think people they run right the hell through that one. They just go, hey, I'm in love, man. Love is love. What are you going to do? Love is love. I don't know. What if it involves, what if the friend is now deceased? Can you then date one of their exes because they're no longer around to be angered or hurt by it? So does the code die when the person dies? Or is the code supposed to always be there? I never quite understood that. Is that more of a female thing? Do fellas do that too? I don't know. I've been out of that game for so long, man. I don't know. And of course I've got, children, who are, well, one is dating age. She's 19. The other one's only 15. So no, she's not, as far as I know, she's not eligible for dating yet. She hasn't asked, but still, I'm just saying. I don't know. I have no idea how that whole dating thing works. I'm so glad. I wear this wedding ring I have with more pride and more relief. And sometimes relief is up there with pride because it's like, man, I don't have to go through any of that, you know? And I'm fairly confident at this point in my life, if something happened, God forbid anything happened that would end my marriage, no, you wouldn't see, I wouldn't know. I might have lunch with a friend or something like that, but I'm not, ain't nobody living in this house. But me and my kids, you can take that one to the bank. That dog just ain't gonna hunt. Oh, you say that now? Nah, I'm pretty certain. And if you know me, you're pretty certain that I'm certain. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just not my thing. I don't want to go through that whole thing. I got more important things to do, than to be courting all over again. No, I'll court my wife. I will always court my wife. I just think that's a healthy thing to do. You got to show your spouse, your significant other, that you're still interested, that they still mean something to you, that they still take your breath away. All that's important. You got to do that all the time, fellas. I'm talking to the fellas right now. Guys, you got to show them all the time. Man, kiss her on the cheek every once in a while. Either side, don't matter. Left or right. On her face. Mine out the gutter, man. Just saying. You got to go in there. You got to tell her. Date night every once in a while. How about something like that, Bring home some restaurant food and give her a break from cooking every once in a while. You gotta show it, man. Ladies, well, I'll let some female tell you about that. I mean, you guys put in work though. Ladies put in. They work. They clean the house. They do the kids, all the stuff like that. What do? We come home from work. We set our ass on the couch and watch them run from one end of the house to the other. And then we have the nerve to ask for sex that night when they're actually falling asleep, talking to you. God bless women. Fellas, we need to step our game up, man, because it ain't about that. Am I guilty? Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I'm guilty. I try to be more attentive, but, tis what it is. So now Tamar Braxton and Kenya Moore are going at each other? Is that the deal? Tamar was on Watch What Happens Live and, took a dig at Kenya, kind of, sort of.
My question is for Tamar. I wanted to know if you're a fan of my favorite Atlanta housewife, Kenya Moore, and her music.
She sings?
She does.
No shade.
No.
No
She's
shade.
not being shady. She's not being shady. She put out a song, Gone with the Wind, fabulous.
Now, Twerk.
Yes.
Twerk.
Yes,
That's the
exactly.
record. I think I heard it at a club one time. I didn't know that was a serious record. No shade. I just thought
it was a fun song she put out.
Okay. Well, I can't lie. She's not my favorite. My favorite is Nene. Yeah, she's a great girl, and we had drinks like about a week and a half ago, and I swear that every Atlanta reality star was at the bar for some odd reason.
Really?
Oh my God, it was the scene with the gangster lean, honey.
That's hilarious.
And I don't know, something about the thirst of it all.
Yes.
She's a pretty girl, and it's just like the pageant thing kind of reeks.
Well, there you go. No shade. That was shade. Come on, man. That was a little shade. You said Kenya was thirsty. Kenya starts talking about your edges. At least I have edges. That's a woman thing, right? Is that the deal? I used to love Kenya Moore. I thought Kenya was everything, really. I did. I thought she was gorgeous. I thought all that. But when she started on that Real Housewives of Atlanta, I can't even stand the sight of her now. I mean, I just can't. I just think she's just an ugly person. Not, and I don't mean that in her looks. She's still drop dead gorgeous, but her ways on that show, and it's not even reality, but it just makes you not really, Am I making sense at all? I mean, am I making sense? Because I just don't, I don't know. But Tamar, you were throwing shade. Let's be honest. It is. You can't say no shade and then all of a sudden that means that you're not throwing shade, because you are throwing shade and you did throw shade. But it's all good because no one gives a damn what I think anyway. So I'm just saying. Hey, parents aren't happy right now with Toys R Us because apparently they're going to start carrying these Breaking Bad action figures, complete with bags of crystal meth and sacks of cash. Have you heard about this? I mean, I never got into Breaking Bad, so I can't really speak to how great the show was or anything like that. I'm not talking about that, but apparently they're going to start selling these things, and people are not very happy about that at all, that they're going to be able to buy these for their kids at Toys R Us. Selling a Breaking Bad doll with a detachable sack of cash and a bag of meth. They say that's not sending them a good message at all. There actually is a petition to get Toys R Us to pull those toys. They're also sold at Barnes & Noble. You know, Walmart sells a pink Breaking Bad teddy bear, but that's not the same thing. You know, what is it about is it that important for Toys R Us to carry this because, you know, really, if you think about it, the only people who are going to buy those are going to be grown people because, you know, how many little kids who still play with dolls are into Breaking Bad? You know, grown people will buy them. No? I mean, I think that thing's what I can't, you know, kids who play with dolls, if they know anything about Breaking Bad, that's your fault as a parent. Really? If you have a child that's of age, that's still playing with dolls, and they know all about Breaking Bad, but what does that say about you? You're letting them watch that? Really? Come on, man. Where's your parenting at, man? You're lacking where are your parenting skills at? Man. Hey, a woman in Hartford, Connecticut got arrested this past Sunday for drunk driving after she allegedly pulled into the parking lot of the county jail. She thought it was a bar. You hear what I'm saying? She pulls into the county jail parking lot thinking it's a bar. She's 39 years old. This all happened at 2 in the morning. Patrol units observed the woman as she began backing up in the parking lot while trying to convince her boyfriend to rejoin her in her vehicle. Now, the deputy that made contact with the woman and discovered she smelled heavily of intoxicants and appeared to be under the influence of alcohol. They gave her the breathalyzer test. She was more than twice the legal limit. The woman admitted to police she had just left a bar in town and thought she was pulled into the parking lot of another bar when she pulled up to the jail. She'll face charges of operating while intoxicated and a high blood alcohol count, which means a woman was found to have a blood alcohol count of 0.17 or higher. How can you be that drunk that you pull into a lot, the jail lot, the county jail parking lot, thinking that's another bar? You had to have seen, I mean, even if it was a bar, you saw that many cop cars on the lot, you got to go. You don't stay for that, especially if you know you're driving drunk. If you know you're drunk and you're driving around and you pull into a lot, you see more than one cop car there. Man, drive away. I mean, where's your common sense here, man? You big dummy. You can't go around doing stuff like that. No, man. You're doing it wrong. You know, I don't even drink, but pro tip here, man. You've got to know the difference between a bar and the county jail's parking lot. You just have to. Otherwise, we got to pull your drinking card. You're not going to be allowed to drink because that's just beyond stupid. Who does that? That makes no sense at all. But hey, it's the world we live in, isn't it? And before I get out of here, I do want to let you know, let's go back, that State Senator Jamila Nasheed was arrested outside the Ferguson Police Department last night. County police says that Senator Nasheed and one other person were arrested for being in the middle of the street and blocking traffic. So as of right now, that's kind of all we know. But I'm sure you will be well aware if you stay connected on the internet, the story will come out as to what exactly happened. There's always 2 versions, 3 versions, you know the whole drill. So, all right, that's it. I'll leave it right here. And thanks so much for listening, sharing, downloading, all that kind of stuff. It means the world to me. All right, have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow.